And I'm going to be here at 1:15, okay? So we're going to start 1:15, and you can have 1 hour 15 minutes. So we're going to start 1:15, and if you can stay longer, you want to stay longer, you can stay until 2:30. Okay. Clear for everyone? Okay, we're going to start at 1:15, and we're going to end at 2:30. Okay. On Wednesday, yeah. Okay, so the exam includes 2 parts. The first part is multiple choice questions. Okay, we're going to have 10 multiple choice questions, and some of them has multiple parts, and they count for 40% of the grade. Okay, 40%. So we're going to have about 10 questions, and some of them have multiple parts. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the concept that will be covered and in this part. First, you need to know what's the definition of economics. And also you need to know the definition of the opportunity cost. Okay. Also in chapter 1, they talk about how do we categorize economics. Okay, there are multiple ways to do it. One is using the contents of the subject. For example, there's labor economics, and there is industry organization. They're all sub-disciplines within the economics. Okay, and another way is macroeconomics and microeconomics. So you need to know what macroeconomic studies and what microeconomic studies. Okay. I'm going over in the exam, doing the exam review. And also we talk about the 4 economic objectives. Okay, you need to know those 4 economic objectives.
Is there 4?
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to chapter 2. We talk about 2 models, 1 person economy, 2 people economy. And there we talk about what is PPF. So you have to know what is PPF. And also you have to know the law of increasing opportunity cost. We had a question on the first quiz. You guys did not do it well. I may copy that same question to this exam. If you got it wrong again, you're going to lose double points, twice as much. Do you hear what I said?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then you may see a question that give you 2 countries or 2 people with 2 different productions and ask you which production has comparative advantage, which production has absolute advantage. Okay. Just like the question on the first quiz. Okay, now let's move on to the chapter 3 in the supply and demand. Okay. So first you need to know what are the factors affect the supply and the demand. Okay, for example, income. Okay, income affects the demand, but it depends on what kind of goods we talk about. If it's inferior good, how it's going to affect it. If it's normal good, how it's going to affect it, right? And the question you will see on the exam on this part, they will give you, let's say, they would ask you, okay, which of the following would lower or increase the equilibrium price of this product? So that's the question. Then I will give you several scenarios, okay? So those scenarios, there may be some factor involved. So for each factor, you need to draw the supply and the demand, and you need to shift demand also supply. Then you can see how the equilibrium price of the quantity will be affected. Okay. Also, you may see a question like this. Okay, it asks you, okay, which of the following will lead to a lower equilibrium price? Okay, and the scenarios given are like an increase in the supply and a decrease in the demand. That would be option A. Option B could be a decrease in demand and a decrease in supply. So I give you those kind of scenarios. You do have to draw the graph to see what's going to happen to the equilibrium price of the quantity. Did everyone hear what I said? So to answer the supplied question, I warn you, do not just take a look at and make a guess, intuitive guess. Do not do it. Even for me, after teaching for 10 years, I have to draw the supply and demand graph to determine what's going to happen to the equilibrium. So please do that. If you don't do that, I guarantee you, you will make mistake with big probability. Okay. Okay, then let's move on to chapter 4. Okay, chapter 4 talk about consumer surplus, producer surplus, price ceiling, and price floor, right? Okay, so you need to know what is price ceiling, how the price ceiling is defined, what is price floor, how the price floor is defined. And if I give you a graph, supply and demand, I cut out the graph using different areas. I ask you which area represents consumer surplus, which area represents producer surplus, and social welfare, and you need to know that. Okay. And the last question, last chapter, chapter 5, elasticity. Okay, we've been talking about for 2 lectures, and there you need to know, okay, what is elastic demand, what is inelastic demand, and what is unitary elastic demand. That's the basic thing. And also you need to know, which we talked about last class, the factors that affect the elasticity. For example, we talk about how the time affects elasticity. Talk about how the price of the good affects elasticity. We talk about how the availability of substitutes affects the elasticity.
How many questions is this?
In the total exam,
But my hand was washing.
I have not counted. I'm giving you one. So those things you need to know, okay? So this first part, the first part is multiple choice question, will include concepts from all 5 chapters, okay? And then the part B is the problem solving questions, okay? And each counts for 20%, so there's 3 questions for the second part, and totally is 60%. First question, I can just tell you, is about the PPF, comparative advantage, absolute advantage, of specialization, and the price of trading. So you will be given a scenario where there's 2 countries or 2 people, and you will be given their the number, they can produce on either good, and then we'll ask you to draw the PPF. Okay, so you have to know how to draw the PPF. Then you have to know how do they specialize. And also I will ask you, how should they trade? How should they trade? So which means what will be the price of trading?
So exchange
That-
rate. Exchange rate.
That's right. Okay, so that's first one. The second one is on supply and demand, consumer surplus, producer surplus, and social welfare. So I give you that example. Remember in the class that I give you the number on the prices, number on the demand, and number on the supply. That demand was demand and supply schedule, that question. Remember when we talk about the tax? Okay, the question will be extremely similar to that one. So work on that problem, understand both too. How do you solve the problem both mathematically and graphically? So I will require you to draw the graph, okay, on the exam to show me, okay, how the demand and all supplies shifted. Is it a vertical shift of the tax amount? You have to show me it's vertical shift of the tax amount or horizontal, okay? And you will show me which area represent consumer surplus, which area represent producer surplus, which area represent government's revenue, which area represent deadweight loss. Then you'll be asked to calculate what is government's revenue and what is deadweight loss. So exactly the same thing we talked about in the class. There's no surprise on that question. And for that question, I may add one part, which is elasticity. I may say, okay, if the price changes from this to that, how can you calculate elasticity within the midpoint? And how does the total revenue change? That will be the one part that I will add to that question. So this is the second question, counts for 20%. And the last one is just supply and demand graph question, okay? In this question, I'm going to give you, remember in 2009, Obama implement some stimulus package to boost the economy, okay? And we're going to use those as example. I will give you 6 different policies that he had implemented. I will ask you how each of them affect the supply or demand. So there's no quite calculation involved. It just asks you to shift the supply and the demand in the right direction. And that's all. The last question should be the easiest one. But in the past, I have seen students losing point So I do recommend you just dig out, a couple of Obama stimulus package policy, just practice it, so you will get idea, okay? So this is the third question, accounts for 20%, okay? So that's what the first midterm. So you have two parts, multiple choice and problem solving. Again, in this exam, there's no surprise. There's nothing that you have not seen in the class. There's no surprise. However, it does require you to take time to study it. I always tell my students, if you don't spend at least from 6 to 8 hours to prepare for the exam, you're not going to get up to the average grade, okay? This is being proven statistically. Between 6 to 8 is basically is necessity, is necessary, okay, to prepare for the exam. Okay. Any other question? So we have it on Wednesday, so you still have 3 days to prepare for it. You take this seriously because I believe it counts for either 20% or 25% of the grade. And after I grade the first exam, you will know how well you are doing with this class. Again, there's no surprise. You just need to put time into it. I'm going to send a YouTube link to you. Okay, this is a promise. You can do it right after this class. Otherwise, I will forget. And review the lectures that if you were not there, you missed that lecture today. And if you're not taking any notes today on what I just said, you can still review the lecture today. Okay, catch up everything. And that's all. Any other questions?
What's the next homework due?
We out there, man.
I think I gave you 1 week, so it should be Wednesday. Yeah.
Ain't nobody. I should have skipped, bro.
Right, I should have stayed in Philly.
Fucking save my ass, bro.
Yeah, stayed in fucking Philly.
So
ran
Wednesday's
into my
exam starts on
I
the
whip. The fuck?
3rd.
Thought I ran.
If you miss one, then you want to go.
Walk to the beach.
Going to the lake.
Either grand.
Oh, yeah, yes.
I wasn't here, so can I get it? Okay.
Anybody sign? Together sign?
There's like a chapter.